3 months ago, Donald Trump suddenly withdrew American forces from northern Syria that were in part thwarting Iran's efforts to dominate that country. His rationale was clear.
Going into the Middle East is one of the worst decisions ever made in the history of our country. It's like quicksand.
Well, last week he dramatically escalated America's military engagement in the quicksand, ordering a strike on Iran's most important military leader and deploying thousands more troops. How to make sense of this Middle East policy? It actually gets more confusing. Around the same time that he was urgently withdrawing American troops from what he called this long, blood-stained sand, Trump sent 3,000 additional troops to Saudi Arabia. When asked why, he answered that the Saudis were paying good money for this deployment. And just a few weeks after announcing the Syria withdrawal, he reversed himself and left some troops in the north for one reason.
We want to keep the oil.
All clear now? After the killing last week of Qasem Soleimani, Trump warned that were Iran to attack any Americans or American assets, he would retaliate very fast and very hard. And yet, after Iran did attack 2 Iraqi bases housing American troops, Trump essentially did nothing.
Iran appears to be standing down.
Now, I'm glad Trump chose to de-escalate, but that doesn't change the fact that he reversed himself yet again. You see, the problem with Trump's foreign policy is not any specific action. The killing of Soleimani could be justified as a way to respond to Iranian provocations. But this move, like so much of Trump's foreign policy, was impulsive, reckless, unplanned, and inconsistent. And as usual, the chief impact is chaos and confusion. Trump did not bother to coordinate with the government of Iraq, on whose territory the attack was perpetrated. After the Iraqi government then protested and voiced a desire to have American troops leave Iraq, he belligerently threatened to sanction the country and stay put until it paid the US billions of dollars for an air base. The result? A policy that could well have produced a marked diminution of Iran's power might instead trigger the withdrawal of American forces from Iraq, which has been the chief Iranian objective in the region for years. This is not an isolated instance. Trump began his policy toward North Korea threatening
Fire and fury like the world has never seen.
He ridiculed its leader Kim Jong-un as Rocket Man. Soon, he was declaring his unabashed affection for Kim.
We fell in love.
And making unprecedented concessions by meeting with Kim 3 times. Trump kept hoping for a deal, and despite every indication that Kim was unwilling, kept up his one-sided love affair, minimizing the North Korean regime's record of almost unsurpassed brutality and terror. Donald Trump does not have a foreign policy. He has a series of impulses: isolationism, unilateralism, bellicosity, some of them completely contradictory. One might surge at any particular moment, triggered usually by Trump's sense that he might look weak or foolish. They're often unleashed without any consultation, and then his yes men line up to defend him, supporting the president's every move with North Korean-style enthusiasm, no matter how incoherent. The United States has made mistakes in foreign policy, but over the past several decades, it has by and large had a carefully thought-through process of decision-making, involving consultation with allies, and has tried to maintain consistency and coherence in its policy. That hard-won reputation is now being squandered in arena after arena around the globe.